Hi, this is Jessica Kalinowski. I'm a junior at Towson University, and this is my first YouTube video for the course using information effectively in philosophy. This is also my first YouTube video ever, so hopefully it turns out okay. I have some links for my examples. I'm going to try to embed them, but I'm not quite sure how to do it yet. So if I can, I'm just going to put them at the bottom of the page. The first article that we had to read for the course was Perils of Praise, and it basically taught us two key concepts. There are two different mindsets that a student can have, and it is directly related to how a teacher praises them, and there's a good way and there's a bad way. The two mindsets are a fixed trait mindset and a growth trait mindset. And the fixed basically thinks that intellectual ability is a fixed trait. You can't grow or learn more. You have a certain IQ, and that's the way it is. It doesn't change. And then the growth mindset basically thinks that it's not a fixed trait, and it's developed through effort and education. And not everyone can be an Einstein, but you can develop your intelligence. And Einstein didn't start as Einstein. He had to go through a long process. And it can really affect a student's coursework and their entire student career, basically, on which mindset that you have. A fixed mindset, they often reject opportunities to learn based on the fact that they may fail, and they feel that if they aren't good at it already, that they don't want to try, and they don't recover well from setbacks and decrease their efforts when faced with one. And the difference between them and a growth mindset is that those students embrace the challenges and increase their efforts when their strategy is not working, and they change it around and try to work things out. And it basically helps them much more in the long run than the fixed mindset. And my example in my passion, which is animals and basically like the evolution and the ecological side, is the short-faced bear versus the grizzly bear. Both animals lived during the Pleistocene era, which was about 14,000 years ago, and they both lived in the same terrain in North America, basically mountainous. And the short-faced bear I like to think of is the fixed mindset, because it was a very specialized animal. It was the largest carnivorous mammal, of ever in North America. And it was a very big hunter, had a very large intellect in the hunting area. But it was mainly a kleptoparasite, which means they waited for smaller animals in packs like dire wolves or the saber-toothed cat to kill the prey, and then they used their size to intimidate them to leave the prey, and they ate their prey, basically. But they are the ones that are extinct, and I think it's because they were faced with the challenge of multiple factors that led to the deaths and extinctions of a lot of the larger prey that they fed on. And since they were solely carnivores, they did not adapt and died out. So they were met with a challenge, and they basically gave up. They did not adapt their strategies. They did not change anything. So they failed. However, the grizzly bear I like to think of as the growth mindset, because they're omnivores. So even though they were much smaller than the short-faced bears, when they were faced with the same challenges, they adapted. They simply chose to eat more vegetation, more fruits and vegetables instead of meat, and they were able to survive and still here today. The other key concept that we learned was that the type of praise a teacher gives to a student is directly involved in the development of which mindset the student has. So when a teacher praises the intelligence of the student, it creates a fixed mindset because if they fail, the student views it as a failure of intelligence. There's a direct quote from the article saying that if success meant they were smart, then struggling meant they were not. So praising your intelligence, saying, oh, you did so well on this because you're so smart, is not a very good thing to do, which seems counterintuitive to the teacher. However, the good way to do it is to praise their effort by saying, oh, you did so well on this. It must have been because you worked very hard. And that develops a strength mindset, a growth mindset. And they learn that it keeps students focused on processes and strategies instead of their mental failures. They also learn that intellectual development is the formation of new connections created through effort and learning. So basically saying that you're not born with everything all together. You gotta try hard and you gotta learn it, and through that connections are made and your intelligence is built up. And then my example of this, there's many examples of praise through effort throughout the animal kingdom, but one that I think is particularly interesting right now is killer whales are learning to beach themselves, which is a new development in recent decades that scientists haven't seen before, where they learn to obviously beach themselves to try to catch fish that try to escape them into shallower waters, and then they glide and they're able to beach themselves and then run back into the water. And they're starting to teach their young how to do that as well and pass it down generations. And how they do this is they show the babies how to do it, and then they allow the juveniles to do it, to perform it themselves. And even the adults don't get it every single time. But the juveniles fail a lot, but they don't give up. They don't just do it once and then never try again. And so through process of error, they learn how to do this and learn how to survive and learn all the hunting skills from their parents. And I know they can't talk, but I'm sure they're praising them when they do make that kill. So that's what I learned from this article. If anyone has any questions or wants more links, I can totally give them to them. Just tell me in the comments section. Thank you.